Um, and we're recording now. Um, and 14th week of classes. Uh, it's been a strange semester. It's just with the COVID and distance and so forth. I'm I'm here in my son's house. It's in Colorado Springs. Uh, hopefully it's a little safer than other places. We'll uh, we'll look at the PowerPoint um, and see where we are. So see. Uh, let's just share screen and PowerPoint. And see here. Oh, somebody. Victoria. Okay. Uh, okay. We'll see. Online was straightforward with SoSci 313. Yeah. Well, um, this is supposed to be a review catch up kind of week. Thinking this over, probably better to give you just a more time to work over the test. So I put the test together, and hopefully you'll have almost 2 weeks to work through it, um, this test. So that should that should be helpful to some of you. And guess we can go with attendance. Let's see. Um, remember some of the names. Felicia is here. Jermaine is here. I haven't seen Janice or Brad. Saw Tiff King. Saw Megan. I saw one Victoria log in. Is that Victoria Pena? Victoria Phelps?
Yeah, it's Victoria Phelps.
Okay. And see if I recognize somebody else is logged in. Haven't seen anybody else log in that I recognize. Let me go through my vid list to see if I Felicia, Megan, Victoria, Tiff, and me. Okay. So much for that. What do we do? Well, let's see. No, could show some features of virtual campus and Zanzibar, and um, I can stop my share and uh, now I can just maybe oh, somebody's here. Uh, uh, escape, escape, keep the annotations, and let's go to Zoom, Zoom meeting, and Brad and Shah are here. So I guess I can mark you guys here um, and share just the screen. And where's Zoom? Oh, sharing screen. Um, and um, more. Um, oh, that's what I wanted. And here, and I can drag a little more to get the new names. And I have a draw command here. So we can mark Shaw here. And we can go up and mark Brad here. Okay. Select and file and save and yes, Victoria Phelps. Okay. Um, I talked through things. The exam is already up and available, and you'll have till late next week to get it in. And next week's class, I'll just come to maybe answer some questions or share some um, questions that might work. Oh, the other Victoria's here. Might as well log her in.
Victoria Opinions here.
Okay, we'll get you there. You're marked, and we can save that. Well, the exam is up already, and yeah, as the usual, I don't have much graded, but hopefully I do have um, both the exams graded so far, and I can show you how to get to your stuff. And this is the Zanzibar site we're looking at, and I can log in from there, and maybe I make this small. And I'm logged in, and I can go to my courses, and got somebody new here. Samantha. Okay. Samantha.
Hey.
Can mark you here. we can get that up. Uh, can show you where you can uh, find your stuff on Jenzabar. So log in, go to my courses, and there's something I'm doing here, which you don't have to. I can view as students. I have to change the view. Now I have the student view, and this is what it tells me it's supposed to look like. There's sometimes a little difference between browsers. This is Google Chrome. Uh, s- um, if you have another browser, it might look a little different. Um, and what, where will you find your results? You can go to the grade book, and the only thing I've given grades for myself this far is exam 1 and exam 2, and it'll show you your grade as a number. And if you click on the exam, you'll get a grade as a number, and you also get a file here that you can download. So if you click on it, it downloads, and this is the way Chrome shows it. Um, shows the download, and um, I can open the file, or I can show in the folder. Uh, so today I've downloaded this. My downloads file shows that I've downloaded uh, a few things, um, and one is the just the exam itself, and your files will show graded stuff. So it'll be a little different looking things, but that's where your graded things will be in Gensabar. So I don't know how many of you have worked with Genzabar before, but as a course management tool, we have had more. I'm here. Okay, Joni's here, uh, and guess I could go look at some names and go back to my attendance page, and Joni's here. Uh, and Samantha, Brad, Shah, uh, the two Victorias, um, buddy there who's okay. Um, so we do have a fair number of people here remaining. Um, let's see. Um, uh, um, let's uh, okay. Um, let me then maybe I'll just go to the PowerPoint show. And uh, drag this way. Slideshow from current slide. And that's where we are. Um, most, well, a few of you haven't found your way to uploading things to Moodle yet, but likely this isn't the only class you had. If you still have some problems with seeing how Moodle works for uploading stuff, we probably could contact me and could walk you through that. And well, I guess now so I can escape this and sharing the screen. And yeah, that's what Moodle looks like for this week. And it didn't kick me out. And this is where your exam will be. And you find it here, and you can download it either as a PDF or a docs file. Some people prefer working with PDFs. I'm not sure why, but I guess I am. You have technology limitations, and the PowerPoint slides are here also, in case you haven't. And that's just a file, and it essentially just downloads. The PowerPoint is mostly hints for the exam, so it might be more convenient than watching the video, and I'll have a marked version of that available. That's about it of getting to that. I guess I could help. Okay, so I'm guessing most of you have seen Moodle already, but those things are already up. So maybe I could drag this. Yeah.
Frank,
Hi.
how you doing?
Okay, somebody new here?
No, it's me, Brad.
Hi, Brad. Okay.
I just had a quick question on the exams. Is it okay if we print them out and do them and just take pictures and upload those pictures in the Microsoft file or whatever to upload them?
If you just upload pictures, yeah.
I mean, like I printed out the exam and then work my problems out right on that paper. Can I just take a picture of those and put them in there?
Upload the pictures like a JPEG file. Yeah. That's okay. It's more convenient for me if you take the pictures and put them all together in one file, as if in like a Word doc. If you have Word, you just put pictures in the Word doc and upload the Word doc. Then I have just one file to work with.
Okay.
So now that of course means you might have to move pictures from your phone to to your computer. There are a few ways of doing that.
I just email myself.
That does work.
I use my personal email account and I use my school email account and I just email myself pictures. or if I have to upload them.
Okay.
But all my answers are highlighted on there and everything, so.
Okay. If if that's the way you do it, that certainly will work. Going through 2 email accounts will work. You I think it is possible to also go through just one email account to mail something to yourself. But what I most often do is put when I have to move things from my phone to my computer, or vice versa, I put them in Google Drive, um, and that works for me. So yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. Uh, yeah, there are lots of ways to do that. Um, um,
Cool, thank you.
yeah, there are actually some of the USB cables will let you do that directly too. Move from your phone to your computer. Not all USB cables, but some of the um, ones that are thicker and have more capabilities will just let you do that. Um, I've I've got a couple of those cables, but it's um, it's more um, that does work very fast if you have the cable, but if you don't, you can end up not realizing you do. So that's possible too. Um, so there are other ways to do that. Um, let's get back to things. Um, and um, let's go to the PowerPoint, and uh, and I'm sharing. I'm sharing the whole screen. Yeah, you are screen sharing. Okay, and from current slide. So that's where we are, and I guess I can. Uh, and I did show a little bit of virtual campus and Zanzibar, and I think everybody knows how to check their attendance and so forth. And we did look at how to get the assignments and where the responses will be, and some of the overview, and the PowerPoint slides we did show. Now, I guess I did have one email about this. I I will total your scores 2 ways. One, exams only. And the other, exams, homeworks, and quizzes. There are a few people in the class who are uh, keeping up uh, reasonably well with the exams, but are way behind on the homework. And I just don't want to try to come up with some kind of for many of you, trying to catch up on the homework would be a real hardship. So I'll great, and I will I will base the grade on the better of the two. Okay. So yeah, for some of you, you've done reason, and I will be more generous than the stated grade formula.
You might want to turn that recording off for that part of this. I'm just teasing.
Oh,
Appreciate the empathy.
okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. I know I haven't been that good on things, and it's in a lot of ways this semester's been hard for all of us with I mean the COVID situation, and for many of you, lockdown, and I'm sure with the frequency of COVID deaths and incidences in the state, we're getting to know a few people. There was a couple people at Rapid City Regional Hospital who were hospitalized for COVID, who were interviewed on CNN, and one of the guys actually, my wife reminded me that I had met. She knows his wife pretty well, which is yeah. So it's getting fairly close. We'll and those kinds of things make your days difficult to get through, and don't always feel and yeah, with the national political situation, I haven't had a more depressing time with that than over these last few months. Although last couple of weeks I've have been has been certainly for me some good news. Yeah, it's where we are. What's next? I'll talk through a little bit about what the questions are on the exam. So if you download the exam and read through the stuff on the top, you'll see hours of exercise and calories burnt are likely to be, well, we have to pick uh, one of these answers here, and that it is generally believed, and it is possible that somebody wouldn't know this. Being a teacher as many years as I have, I've been surprised. Oh, somebody new here. Somebody returning. Oh, okay, we got someone connecting. I don't recognize her face yet. Tony, we'll see. No. Terry. Okay. We can go back and get you marked here, Terry. Okay. Okay. Got you marked here. And what did Terry miss? I showed some things about how to get to things in Moodle and Genzabar. A few people have them there. I'm going to be a bit more generous on the grading. So some of the folks may have wanted to quit already, and I don't. Just and we started talk, and I'm going to talk through what's on the questions on the exam. So it's generally believed as you exercise more, you will burn more calories. So the things like exercise bikes will have calorie counters on them, and um, a Fitbit won't just count steps; it'll also maybe take a guess at how many calories you've burnt over the course of a day based on your heart rate, um, if you have that. Um, yeah, so it's generally believed as you exercise more, you will burn more calories. So if you were to plot a scatter diagram, it would be increasing as you go left to right, and the slope of a fitted line would be positive. So, and the picture on page 331 will talk about correlations. So that's one way of going through that. The formula for Pearson's R is, and they just simply give a few formulas, and there is a formula in the textbook, and that's page. So that one's that's about as big a hint as I've ever given, I think. And have to read through page 330, and it'll tell you what SP is, so you can look for SP. And it is one of those on the list. So that shouldn't be too hard on the correlations. So X and Y are moving the same direction. The cross products, well, the cross products will have the same sign as the correlation. So that might be something. might want to note. Cross products. Okay. Some of the cross products. See. The control E. Has same sign as the correlation. So very often, the so what you read about correlation, you'll get is the sum of the cross products. So selecting among cross products will have the same sign as it will as the sum, more likely. And we have somebody new here. Justice. Okay. Right. Mark you here, Justice.
Okay.
There we go. You're marked up. What I do, I'm going through exam questions, and I have some hints, and I am recording the class, and I will try to put it up on YouTube today or tomorrow. And I did mention a few things. I'll grade the scores, your grades, two ways. I can grade the exams only, and I'll grade them up, exams, homeworks, and quizzes. I'll base the grade on the better of those two, and I will be more generous than the stated grade formula. So we'll look at things that way, at least this semester. I talked through a few of these, and talk through this. And question 5, scatter plots are useful tools for determining this. Well, I guess this is kind of a verbal hint. There really are a number of pages to talk about what you can do with scatter plots, and they're a pretty general tool. I think I almost remember using them before I remembered the name, but that could just be my memory. But it was elementary school, like science exercises, that we had to plot some things. Gosh, I don't even remember what. It's been a while since elementary school. I'll be 64 soon, so it's been a while since elementary school, and I got out of elementary school pretty much on schedule. So now didn't start lagging behind on things till I was in undergrad. So simple regression is the appropriate statistical procedure for what? determining the strength and direction of a relationship between variables. Um, and now what happens is we also have this is a question about some of these things are related to regression and correlation. Okay, let's see who's here.
That's me, Brittany Poyer.
Brittany, okay.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Go and mark you here. All right. What have I done so far? Well, went through the attendance, talked a little bit on how to get to things on virtual campus and Jen's Bar, because some people are pretty far behind. And I did mention I'm going to grade a couple of different ways. I can grade with just the exams only, and if that works out better for someone than grading with the exams and quizzes and homeworks, I'll take the better of those two, and I will be more generous than the stated grade formulas. So I know some of the folks, might be kind of discouraged and not want to finish up, but if you can, even if you have to take the course over again, fighting through it once will help you go through it again. Usually, um, sometimes instructors don't match up well with students too. And we've talked through scatter plots, and now I'm talking through this one. We're just talking through the questions on the exam, like we did with the second exam. I'm No, I guess I don't know the students at OLC as a group as well as um, I've known students at other schools, and um, do, and I had less opportunity to talk with regular faculty members because of the COVID situation. You you just meet people in the hallway and they'd want to talk about the work of teaching uh, commonly, and that hasn't happened in a long time for me and OLC. Uh, I don't know. I remember reading a few discussions of what hell would be like, and some of it was uh, you have an overwhelming sense of loneliness as well as all the other things we see. Um, okay. So we do a regression analysis, we often get a correlation coefficient. So, but it isn't necessarily what we want when we do regression. And what if you were to take a forecasting class? You would often see regression in the forecasting method set. So that might be a hint also. Um, the answer's on page 390, and you can simply look up, looking up some of the definitions in the index for the terms would get you to the answer also, even if you didn't truly understand it. Reading page 390 will run you across the definition based on those terms. So that should be helpful. Household's a little weird. My daughter-in-law's trying to isolate in the house, and because of some exposure to someone who might have had COVID. They do a bit more on contact tracing here in Colorado than other places, and she has a 2.5-year-old, my grandson, and trying to have him look at phone calls from his mother while she's in the next room is really strange. So it's kind of an odd time here. On 385, there's definition of terms, and the slope is one of those, and so the answer is there. That's pretty straightforward to go through. The test statistics for a hypothesis of a simple regression. Okay, there's a long discussion of what the testing, doing the hypothesis testing and regression, and it is useful to do that way for a couple of reasons. One is the outputs are so common, and the other is it sets you up if you do more than a simple regression. If you put in more variables or transformations of the variables in your as your predictors. So that one's a pretty straightforward lookup. And this is just a notation, and you can look at those. So y bar, y hat, and x estimated values. And those are, and one of the page numbers it's discussed on is 385. Oh, somebody new here. Tony is here. Okay, let's go back and get Tony here.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I guess I've done it for some of the other people too. What I've done so far, the exam is already up. Next week, I'll just hope to answer some questions about it. Not really present anything new. You'll have a bit more time to go over this exam. It just covers the last few chapters, and I have decided there'll be a couple of ways I'll grade: homeworks and quizzes, and exams, or just exams, because there's some people way behind on the exams, and I'll take the better of the two. And I will be more generous than the stated grade formula. Um, and let's see. Not showing your picture, your camera today. Huh? Okay. Uh, and we've talked through a few of the exams and exam questions already. And I will do. I am recording the video too, and yeah, I am recording it to the hard drive, and I will put it up on Genzabar and on via the YouTube account I have, probably sometime tomorrow. Get to catch up.
Okay. So you're taking, like, if we did better on all of our exams, you're going to use that grade? then
Yep.
Versus, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Which of the following procedures is not a parametric statistical procedure? Well, when on page 462, they describe what is a parametric procedure and what is not, and the answer shows up on this one. So this is chapter 14 question with the chi-square stuff new to it, and the term parametric and non-parametric is new in chapter 14. Bit of a hint there. Expected frequency is calculated for each in a chi-square test. And I think that shows up in 466, and probably with the goodness of fit, we calculate the expected frequency is NP, our number of observations times the proportion or probability of getting in each cell. And with the test of independence, we test with that formula, row total times column total divided by the whole thing divided by grand total. So as those are applied, you stick them in one of these. So that should be answered there. The degrees of freedom for the chi-square goodness of fit test are, and you can, I guess I didn't actually find it, but there is an example that shows the answer on 471. Got a little bit lazy on finding the exact formula on that. Well, you know, as I looked at this, and I was looking for an answer to see where it was. I didn't find it, but I can say, looking at the formula, which is, in case you haven't remembered, oh, a few different ways of writing these. O minus E squared over E. And we add these up for all the cells. Only one thing can be negative in here, right? And we square it, so it turns positive. And E is there. So, well, it's a chi-squared values are test statistics, so they can't always be a constant number, so we can eliminate that one immediately. And looking at that formula is the way I suggest reasoning through this problem. Now there are a couple of calculation problems. One that deals with chapter 11, where we test the correlation coefficient, and there are some page numbers for that that have relevant examples. And that's a test the correlation coefficient, and there are a few examples in the book, and a somewhat interesting question here that do household incomes have a relationship with ACT composite scores? We like to think of ACT score is mostly a predictor of general academic ability, which is independent of other things. However, it's somewhat widely assumed that things like wealth would tend to increase ACT scores, and you can somehow see the mechanisms for that. If we just sort of consider the behaviors uh, of people based on their wealth, um, there are ACT training courses that you can take, and taking supplemental, buying supplemental things to try and change your ACT scores is certainly something that people of higher household incomes would have more likely do. And uh, other things, what's an ACT score get you? It allows you to get into different schools, for example. Um, and often those are more expensive anyway to get in. So the wealthier people tend to be more ambitious with schools. Uh, and this is of course legal, not like we see in some of the Hollywood news with people buying their ways into schools. And then also there are study manuals you can buy, and again, if you have more discretionary income, you're more likely to buy those. Um, and further down the list, some of the schools, if you're not all that ambitious, and you can get into the school you want with your first chance to take it at an ACT. You'll you won't you won't try to improve it. So when I took an SAT, and I just wanted to go to local commuter state university in Cleveland. I took it just once. I didn't have that kind of ambition. And these are the general steps we go through in a hypothesis test: state the null and alternative hypotheses, and I do want to see those stated. I want to see somebody writing the H's and the less thans or greater thans or not equal to, and it says significant relationship, so that's a not equal to, although we would usually guess that it's positively correlated. And then we'll I do like to see all those steps there, the test statistic, and I would like you to try to write a little bit about the decision. The book they have taught out of in math, science, and technology breaks up the decision and the practical interpretation of is separate parts of the hypothesis test, and there is some value to that. I think they have about 8 steps in their steps for hypothesis testing. That book has more detailed procedures than most that I've worked with, and that's an asset to some kinds of students. And there's a lot I really like about that book. One of the authors of that book works in Colorado Springs, and maybe I should try to walk around their campus, get a sense of that. And now, if you can do a correlation calculation, you can make a scatter plot. And if you can make a scatter plot, then you can do a regression equation. And the formulas for the regression are actually pretty simple given the calculations there. Although when you look at this, it looks like you have a whole lot of calculations to do to get to the correlation coefficient, but I've given you a table and most of the stuff is filled out, and you just have to interpret what the totals mean. So there really isn't much calculations.
You're just gonna
Just
end with some letters, right?
what's that?
You're just gonna, the answers will just be some letters, right? There ain't no numbers in that equations
For
on
problem
385,
on page
385,
385,
the E and F.
E and F formulas. Yeah, those formulas just have letters, but the letters you see can be observed from the table above on question 15. So those numbers, you actually have to put the numbers in the formula, but you don't have to do long calculations to get to those numbers because you can observe them from the table summaries.
Okay.
So it's a matter of observing a few numbers and doing the straightforward calculations from those. Question 16. This is hypothesis testing, and if smoking and lung problems are independent. And it's a chi-squared test of independence, and I, I don't remember the first time I was told that smoking would harm my lungs. It was bad for your health. It's um, I was born in '56, and some of the research with the dangers of smoking came out in the '60s, and remember my parents and aunts and uncles and adult neighbors talking about their smoking habits, and people spoke about smoking differently in the '60s. Uh, um, I seem to remember people smoking a whole lot more. You know, uh, um, people would talk about how many packs of cigarettes they would smoke in a day. You know, that would be common conversation. Uh, I, I I know the exact number of cigarettes I've smoked. Uh, it's one, so I didn't go over that. But when I smoked a cigarette, it didn't give. Nothing terrible happened. I smoked a cigar one time, and I didn't feel so well afterwards. But that was not the worst thing that happened that day. Tornado came through the town I was living in, and um, broke all the glass downtown in Kalamazoo, and uh, destroyed 38 homes and killed 5 people, and completely destroyed one of the elementary schools in the area.
Where's Kalamazoo at? What state's that?
It's in Michigan.
Michigan.
It's about halfway between Chicago and Detroit. And if you were going to drive from Detroit to Chicago, it's probably what you go through. It's on I-94, and if you just head straight uh, west out of um, Detroit, you'll get to Kalamazoo, and uh, on the interstate, and yeah, uh, took the May 13th, 1980. Yeah, I'm sure that's before some of you were born, but yeah, strange day. Okay, where are we? So it's a hypothesis test and a chi-square test of independence, and those are example pages, and it's kind of a long procedure. Calculations aren't that hard, but it is a bit tedious. Sometimes the textbooks are. Oh, what do we got? Chat message. Okay, I got a private email and I'm okay with things. Are some questions in it. So um yeah. Um uh, I yeah, one of the things uh one of the things you learn teaching at OLC very well is that uh, uh, all right. Uh, one of the things I learned about OLC is, as society puts um, uh, a lot of importance on, parents taking care of their children. And there's uh, very little that, uh, somebody says, I gotta deal with my kid. They're gone. And um, teaching it like the school of mines, very few of the students in bachelor's degree classes have children. Um, uh, okay, I'm pretty much done for the week. Unless there are some other questions, we've had the same procedure for uh, submitting exams. Next week, I'll log on, and if I get some questions during the week, I might put together some responses for everyone related to it. Um, one thing I have learned as a teacher, people can get confused on a lot of stuff, um, and that people will read things different ways than I do. Um, it's, maybe it's because I'm not all that creative, I guess. So yeah, see, I can escape from this unless I get the question I should write out. Okay. Do you want to keep? Oh yes, got to keep those ink annotations. Uh, and uh, close that. Do I want to save the changes? Yes. All right. And I can stop the screen share. And there were 13 of us here. Um, I'll just wait for everybody to click off before I stop the. Well, I guess I can stop the recording now.